Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Andrew is away. Tonight, enthusiastic British Columbians embrace the next step of reopening.
It'll be almost like a family reunion, having everyone back.
But along with joy, calls for caution. Also tonight, a Saskatchewan town pays respect to a slain RCMP officer. His parents speak with us.
You can have nightmares and worries, but then it becomes truth.
After consumer complaints, a possible multi-million-dollar penalty for Air Canada, but not in Canada.
They're saying a very strong message.
And does your makeup list all the ingredients?
How else are consumers going to know what's really in their products?
New research, big concerns. This is The National. The start of the pandemic 15 months ago left many Canadians holding useless airline tickets for trips they could not take. And as it turned out, waiting for refunds that were slow to come. Air Canada customers in this country got their money back as the airline negotiated a federal government bailout. But today, the U.S. government said those refunds were too slow to come. It received thousands of Air Canada customer complaints. And in response, it is taking action against the airline. Air Canada says it will fight back. Alison Northcott has the details.
When the pandemic hit last year, thousands of Canadians' flights were disrupted or cancelled, but it took more than a year for Bobby Jaswal to get a refund from Air Canada.
It's really frustrating for a consumer perspective. I wish there was a little bit more accountability.
Air Canada did agree this April to refund passengers for cancelled flights as part of a $5.9 billion aid package from the federal government. But for their U.S. flights, the U.S. Department of Transportation says refunds have taken too long. So after more than 6,000 consumer complaints, it's seeking a $25.5 million U.S. penalty for what it calls extreme delays.
They're saying a very strong message to all the commercial aviation, all the airlines, whether American or non, don't do this again or we will come after you and punish you financially.
In a statement, Air Canada said it believes the department's position has no merit and said it remains firm on its position and will vigorously challenge the proceedings.
We were supposed to fly with Air Canada from Vancouver to Anchorage.
Dushan Fayesh got money back through his bank, not the airline, and filed a complaint to the Canadian Transportation Agency and the U.S. Department of Transportation.
American government was the only one that was really looking after us. So we are really disappointed.
We have many rights on the paper, but when it actually comes to enforcing them, Canadian consumers are left hanging out to dry.
This air passenger rights advocate says Air Canada should face consequences here, too.
It is one of those cases where the Canadian government missed that lesson, so therefore that lesson is coming from the U.S. government.
In a statement, the Canadian Transportation Agency says it doesn't have the authority to establish a minimum obligation for all airlines when it comes to cancellations outside of an airline's control. But it says eligible customers can still apply for refunds from Air Canada for a few more weeks. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Let's turn to Canada's current COVID-19 story, which still remains one of anxiety and grief, and sometimes worse. But it is also increasingly a story of optimism, like today in British Columbia. Today, the province entered a new phase of reopening. In this step 2, and for the first time in nearly 2 months, residents are allowed to travel within the province, gather in larger groups, even go to movie theaters, and that is thanks to high vaccination rates and low case counts. Last week, the province averaged about 130 cases per day. As Katie Nicholson shows us, people in BC are not waiting to take advantage of their new freedoms.
Hi. A day of happy reunions. Lance Bennett builds a workout for people he hasn't seen in 15 months.
It'll be almost like a family reunion, having everyone back.
Class sizes for indoor gyms expanded, not to full capacity, but close. Weights, not the only thing being lifted today. Gone now is the regional travel restriction. British Columbians so keen to get out and about within an hour of the announcement Monday, BC Ferry's website crashed. But outside visitors are going to have to wait.
We're going to welcome you down the road, but not today. If you don't have business in British Columbia, it's our preference that you stay where you are.
This is one of my new favorite ones from a friend in Nanaimo.
In this Vancouver Island store, there is excitement, but also anxiety about an influx of people and whether they'll stick to the rules.
We do face hostility. We've had people throw masks at our plexiglass, and people that look distinguished, like they would have better manners than that.
As of today, groups of 50 can now hang out outside, and banquet halls and cinemas can open with 50-person capacities. A concern for some tracking the highly transmissible Delta variant.
That's the worry, is if we relax any more than where we are now, we're going to start to see a spike in cases.
But at the Rio, an independent cinema which briefly switched over to operate as a sports bar to stay open, no fear about what today brings.
I'm not really concerned about it because I feel that we have been operating safely throughout this entire pandemic. We haven't had one incident. And especially now with so many people vaccinated.
More than 75% of adults in this province have had at least one shot. At that rate, this theater could see a full house by summer's end.
Okay, Katie, so you can feel the excitement coming from that province now, but clearly this is just step 2. What's next?
You're right, joy, but also anxiety, because so much hinges on what happens. How will today's loosening of restrictions affect those Delta variant numbers that are still in this province? All the other variant numbers have trended down. That one's been holding steady. So the question is, are they going to be able to move to step 3 in 2 weeks? That's supposed to include the reopening of casinos and nightclubs, and even changes to the mask mandate so that masks won't be mandatory in all situations. So will BC be able to move to that step 3 on Canada Day? That's what the next 2 weeks is going to be all about. Adrian?
All right, Katie, thank you. Nova Scotia is also moving forward with its gradual reopening. The province will enter phase 2 of its 5-step plan tomorrow. Restaurant dining and informal gatherings of up to 10 people will be allowed to take place indoors. Businesses like hair salons and spas can offer all services by appointment only. And as for travel in and out of the province, parts of the so-called Atlantic bubble will reopen next Wednesday. Newfoundland and Labrador will allow residents within the region to enter without having to isolate. PEI will allow some approved travelers who will have to apply to come in. And New Brunswick says it will allow travel from some parts of Atlantic Canada as of midnight tonight, and the rest of the region in the coming days, depending on those vaccination rates. While the pandemic recedes in parts of the country, the James Bay community of Saskatchewan is dealing with a devastating surge in cases, affecting some of its youngest residents. And as Olivia Stefanovich explained, some say Ottawa has been far too slow to react.
Much needed relief for a Cree community in the grip of a COVID-19 outbreak, fueled by the Alpha variant.
I believe a lot of people are scared, just like me, afraid to lose our people.
About 1 in 10 members of this remote James Bay First Nation are sick with the virus. The vast majority unvaccinated kids, the youngest a 2-month-old baby.
It's an overcrowding issue.
The chief says it's not unusual for up to 20 people to live under one roof in Saskatchewan, allowing the virus to spread quickly, even shutting down the grocery store.
It's sad. I'm angry.
Everyone, including the Grand Chief for the region, is in lockdown. He says he wants an inquiry to find out why Ottawa didn't react sooner.
It's their policies and regulations and the mentality that we know what's best for you.
COVID does work faster and move faster than government, but we've done our absolute best to be quick to respond.
The Minister of Indigenous Services says discussions are underway to possibly deploy the military.
Saskatchewan has got pretty much a quarter of the active cases in Indigenous communities right now.
We're dealing, I think, with the worst case scenario.
The new Democrat MP for the area wants the federal government to do more.
We need to investigate what it means to have COVID running in such high numbers in little children and in babies.
Canadian Rangers are already on the ground. The government is also sending isolation units and more healthcare workers.
Are you going through and I'll be praying for you guys?
And hope, shared by neighboring First Nations, this help will bring an end to the crisis. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
So while the needs are still acute, today Canada did take another big stride in vaccinations. More than 442,000 needles found their mark. Nearly 65% of the population has now had one shot. More than 13% has had both. But CBC News has new details on one already vulnerable group where vaccine hesitancy can grow and where the infection rate is 6 times the national average: prisons and jails. They had about 600 cases last summer. Now that number is more than 6,000. 9 people have died. Tonight, Valerie Ouellette has our exclusive reporting.
They're on a volunteer mission at one of Canada's least immunized prisons. A doctor, some lawyers, even a former prisoner, urgently trying to convince vulnerable inmates to get the shot that could save their lives.
And it will be a true tragedy if we see a fourth wave happening in these particular very high-risk settings.
On average, 13 out of every 50 prisoners in provincial jails tested positive, while in federal penitentiaries, it's closer to 6 out of every 50. A far cry from the 2 out of every 50 Canadians who caught COVID.
It reflects what we saw in long-term care homes. It's known that living in these congregate living settings is a risk factor.
Because of that risk, the National Advisory Committee on Immunization said prisoners should get a shot after long-term care residents, before healthy Canadians in their 60s. Prisoners detained at this Ottawa jail waited until May 18th. When the vaccine was finally offered, one inmate told CBC News no healthcare staff could answer his questions about the health risks.
Someone outside won't have access to internet. We're not privy to any information.
The fastest rollout was in federal penitentiaries. Nearly 80% are vaccinated, many with second doses. While in provincial jails, roughly half of all inmates had their first dose. 4 provinces couldn't tell CBC News how many inmates were immunized. 3 hours later, the volunteers are done.
We had a whole range sign up for the vaccine.
The Ontario government told CBC News inmates do get private consultations with healthcare staff, but the province still ranks last when it comes to getting prisoners vaccinated. As of right now, 12 jails have at least one active COVID case. In federal prisons, there are none. Valerie Ouellette, CBC News, Toronto.
The parents of a slain RCMP officer spoke exclusively with CBC News today about their son's death in the line of duty. The colleagues of Constable Shelby Patton brought his body to the small Saskatchewan town where he was killed. Bonnie Allen was there as hundreds showed their support for police.
A small town shaken to its core stands in solidarity, all in red, to honor the final journey of Constable Shelby Patton's body, followed by his family and fellow officers.
It's not fair that such a young man had to go that way.
Definitely with anti-police sentiment, to let them know that we support them, I think is really important.
This family says any attack on police is an attack on a neighbor and friend.
I think coming from a small town community, the police are a part of our community, we know them.
A man and woman from Winnipeg are charged with manslaughter after allegedly hitting and killing the 26-year-old RCMP officer with a stolen vehicle during a traffic stop Saturday morning. A witness tells CBC News that Constable Patton was dragged a considerable distance down the street after he was struck. The occupants of the truck then fled. He died here on scene. Today, his family visited the spot. His mother, Melanie Patton, says nothing prepared her for this day.
You can have nightmares and worries and you chalk it all off as you're just being a worried mom, but then it becomes truth and you die a little.
In court, it was revealed that police found methamphetamine on one of the accused. Patton's mother, who works for the RCMP, says she's tired of drug-fueled crime.
I don't have the answers. I believe in stronger penalties so that a life matters more than a stolen vehicle.
The family says Patton loved superheroes as a child. Then they say he grew up to be one. Due to COVID-19 protocols, his family will hold a private funeral. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Wolseley, Saskatchewan.
There are new details now on the deadly massacre in Nova Scotia in the spring of 2020. They come from the RCMP's response to a class action lawsuit filed on behalf of victims' families. Here's Kayla Hounsell to fill in the story of a terrifying night and police mired in confusion.
In the midst of all that chaos, there is now a little more clarity on what the RCMP was doing the night a gunman went on a rampage in the coastal village of Portapique. Less than an hour into a 13-hour manhunt, police thought they had their suspect. They saw someone approaching in the darkness, carrying a flashlight.
I walked up the road looking for my brother with a flashlight.
At the time, this man told CBC News he found his brother dead. Police now say when they tried to engage the individual with the flashlight, he turned it off and ran into the woods.
I shot my flashlight off, I turned around and I ran for my life in the dark.
For more than 3 hours, police thought he was the suspect until they found him and rescued him.
A nightmare through hell.
The new details are contained in an RCMP response to a proposed class action lawsuit. Families of the victims allege the Mounties did not meet the duty of care expected of them. The documents also show the first 911 caller that night reported her husband had been shot and that there was a police car in the driveway. Police maintain it wasn't until the next morning that they confirmed the gunman was in possession of a fully marked replica police vehicle after his common-law partner emerged from hiding. It was her family, the documents say, that gave police this photo they later circulated on social media. 22 people were killed. In his affidavit, Superintendent Darren Campbell said, "I believe he intended to kill at least 5 others." Public hearings into a joint federal-provincial inquiry are set to begin this October. A final report is expected in the fall of 2022. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
A growing rift within the Green Party of Canada has prompted a vote on the political future of its leader. CBC News has learned the party's federal council will vote on whether to trigger a process that could see the end of Annamie Paul's leadership. Paul rejected calls to resign after one of the party's 3 MPs defected to the Liberals last week, in part over recent disagreements on the conflict in the Middle East. The federal Liberals are poised to make changes to Canada's Official Languages Act with some big implications for Quebec. The changes have little chance of being passed by Parliament anytime soon, but as Rafi Boudjikanian explains, some say the timing has everything to do with politics.
The government says the rules around Canada's official languages are rusty and it's time to update them.
French and English are at the heart of who we are as a people and as a country.
Recognizing French as Quebec's official language and codifying New Brunswick's bilingual status, making sure federally regulated employers offer workers and customers service in French if they want it.
I've had in my numerous mandate letters the mandate to table a new official languages act.
But why now, just 7 days before the House rises for a summer break? For months, the language debate has been simmering again in vote-rich Quebec. Its provincial government is working to update its own French language protection law, and it's popular.
The Liberals want to show that they care about French. So that's the message that they are sending today.
In the 2019 federal election, a resurgent Bloc Québécois captured 30 seats. But recent polls suggest the Sovereignist Party is vulnerable now, down about 5 percentage points.
Ne sera qu'une assez primaire propagande.
Today, the Bloc called the new legislation propaganda, says it won't pass in time, and wants a symbolic vote about Quebec's legislation.
People have to know who stands for what.
The Liberals say it doesn't have anything to do with an election.
We're a minority government, and if the opposition decides to go into elections, that's their call.
Jolie, the Liberals' campaign co-chair, said today if there was an election and the Liberals returned to power, she'd reintroduce the law. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
A chemical widely used in long-lasting makeup can be harmful, but is rarely listed.
how else are consumers going to know what's really in their products?
The common ingredient that could be putting your health at risk. Plus, taking social distancing to the next level.
We feel very isolated and very, very remote.
2 women spent their pandemic surrounded by ice and no electricity, all for a good cause. And a $5 bargain find is about to sell for thousands.
Turning it over and reading the label, it was even more exciting for her.
We're back in 2. The Olympics are a little more than 5 weeks away, and some competitors are already in Tokyo. Today, they got a playbook of what they can and, crucially, what they cannot do with COVID in mind. Those who attend the Games must follow a testing regimen before leaving home and after arriving. They have to agree to be tracked by GPS, to maintain social distancing, and to keep off public transportation. Punishments start with a warning, but can include temporary or a permanent ban from the Olympics. Now, for many in Japan, those restrictions just miss the point. They would rather see the Games called off. That is something the International Olympic Committee insists won't happen. Sasha Petrusik has this update.
With all the fanfare of a spectacle that's not in doubt, medals are unveiled. The torch is paraded. But with just 37 days to the opening ceremonies, Japan is struggling to bring a fourth wave of COVID under control. Much of the country remains in a prolonged state of emergency. And its vaccination rate lags far behind any other G7 country, some 14% versus Canada's 65%, who have at least one shot.
It's vaccination.
Experts now wonder whether Japan wasted the past year when it could have done more.
If Japan could have eliminated COVID now, and vaccination are being rolled out with massive testing, the answer could have been yes.
In Britain, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said he has the support of G7 leaders to go ahead with the Games. He insists they will be safe, with foreign spectators, maybe even local fans, banned. Canceling these games could cost more than $22 billion. And some say Japan would lose face. But public opinion is not convinced the Games should go ahead, with polls showing roughly half of Japanese opposed. Human life is more precious than the Olympics, she says. They should be canceled. That seems unlikely, as Australian softball players and other athletes have already started arriving, and Olympic organizers insist they won't be calling off the games. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Toronto.
Severe drought has swept across the southwestern U.S., and a heat wave is only adding to the trouble. People are worried about the threat of dangerous wildfires. And as Katie Simpson tells us, one official has even asked people to just pray for rain.
Extreme heat and a lack of rain have created the ideal conditions for wildfires to ravage swaths of California. Authorities fear things will get worse, as this is just the start of another long stretch of hot, dry weather.
We're seeing fire conditions that we would normally see in August, September, October, just because of the drought conditions and the heat.
Right now, parts of 7 southwestern states are experiencing what is known as exceptional drought, the most severe category of dry conditions. And in some of those same places, roughly 50 million people are about to endure temperatures well above 40 degrees Celsius.
So we do have abnormally high temperatures forecast this week, and some records could be broken.
Nevada's Lake Mead is already at historically low levels, leaving bathtub ring markings along its shores. The consequences of this could be severe, as it is a major source of power and water for parts of the Southwest.
We are looking at the possibility of declaring shortage in the lower basin for the first time ever.
In Utah, conditions have been so dry, the governor asked people to pray for rain. Critics say instead this should be a starting point for a difficult but urgent conversation.
The question is, are state leaders willing to accept that this is not a short-term drought, but that this is long-term climate change?
Drought conditions in the U.S. haven't been this bad in about a decade. Back in 2011, southern states experienced one of the hottest and driest summers on record. There are fears this year could be just as bad, if not worse, given how hot and dry it is already, and it's only mid-June. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
In case you wear waterproof mascara or long-lasting lipstick, a common ingredient could be unsafe.
The route of exposure, whether to the eyes, to the skin, or ingestion, is really problematic.
Coming up, the harmful chemical that is seeping into our water. But first, a Siberian town is covered in black soot and toxic fumes, and desperate residents have been asking Canada for help. Stay with us. And that is U.S. President Joe Biden arriving in Geneva today ahead of his meeting tomorrow with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two leaders are not known to have a warm relationship, and what happens at tomorrow's talks is eagerly anticipated. So the meeting comes against a backdrop of growing repression and economic decay in Russia. Chris Brown recently visited a Siberian coal town where life has been so difficult. 2 years ago, residents pleaded for help from Canada. Since then, in almost every way possible, their lives have simply gotten worse.
Life in the Siberian coal town of Kyslyosk is dirty, dangerous, and deadly. Enormous black holes of open-pit coal encroach into neighborhoods. Families live on the edge.
Так вот и вот. Представляете, сколько это силы надо?
Natalia Kamarova told us it never used to be this bad. She and other residents still heat their homes with coal. The 9 mines here used to be further away, she said, but authorities let them expand.
У нас ветхое жилье. Люди засыпаются, все валится, живут. И семьями, и с детьми, с такими. Это администрация, и никому ничего не надо.
The mine owners are billionaires, but thousands upon thousands of families across Siberia live in awful poverty and can't afford to leave. This is her street in the winter, blackened in thick coal dust. Many in this city of 90,000 don't even have running water, even if in some places the pipes exist. People still use wells.
Я в Новосибирск уехала. Чистый город. Ни шахтов, ни разрезов нету там. Академический город. Там все у нас академики, как бы элита. У меня вот сестра уехала, нисколько не пожалела.
Under President Vladimir Putin, there is now more coal produced in Russia than in Soviet times. Here in what's known as the Kuzbas region, investment has surged, but workers and their families have been left behind. As we walked on the mostly unpaved roads, people complained about lacking basic infrastructure. They were desperate to show us how their homes were falling apart. Lilia Kazalova told us she has to do repairs constantly as vibrations from the mine explosions and the shifting earth cause it to lean and slide off of its foundation.
Дали документ, что у нас подработанные поля, все есть, прислали нам.
Her husband, Victor, said the family gets by on his $800 a month miner's pension, which is actually almost triple what many pensioners get.
Ну а что она сделала, Единая Россия? Она разобралась в этих случаях, если она такая правящая партия. Да никто никуда не ходит.
The ground sometimes literally smokes here. Coal dust hangs heavy in the air, especially after byproduct from the open pit mining gets dumped. And bone-jarring explosions shake people's lives every day.
2 winters ago, frustrated by the pollution, by the noise, and most of all, by the lack of accountability from Russia's government, people here made an extraordinary plea for outside help to Canada.
In a video, families implored Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to let them come as environmental refugees. Canada said, sorry, only Russia's government can help. Vitaly Shestakov was part of the so-called Kyslyosk Canadians as the group became known locally. He got involved after methane gas from the ground seeped into his home and almost killed his family. Only the cries of his cat saved them.
В открытой форме, да, перед камерами, он сказал, что здесь жить нельзя, надо убирать эти дома отсюда, как бы расселять людей.
It seemed like the plea to Canada might push authorities here to take action, but that hope was short-lived. These people have discredited Kuzbas and discredited Russia. The region's governor berated them at a news conference. The local mayor denied there was ever a promise to move people.
Сама власть, наверное, не хочет людям помогать, да, как бы идти на сторону людей. Ну, я думаю, что и в стране ничего хорошего не будет все-таки.
But the recriminations weren't done. The environmental activist who encouraged residents to make that video, Natalia Zubkova, was hounded by Russia's secret police. First she left town, Then she left Russia and is now in exile in Georgia. Alexander Gartman once sat in jail for 8 months himself after clashing with officials over compensation for injured miners.
Кошмарно даже, вернее, сне не приснится, как у нас население живет. Не живет, а выживает, короче.
He brought us to a cemetery next to a giant open pit. Fitting, he says, since deaths in Siberia now outnumber births by 2 to 1.
Это же варварское, циническое идет уничтожение просто населения, людей.
His grandparents immigrated to Regina in the 1970s. It's still his hope to get there one day too.
Фактически Россия гибнет как страна, хотя она самая большая по территории. В ней очень природные ресурсы на первом месте. Взять газ, взять нефть, золото, серебро. Все в России есть. Для народа его нету практически ничего.
The honesty and desperation of the people we met in Kislovodsk was striking. Under Vladimir Putin's government, their lives have deteriorated, and those who fight back or demand something better are treated as criminals. I hope something good comes of this, Natalia said after our interview, that someone somewhere finally pays attention to us. Chris Brown, CBC News in Kislovodsk.
Remarkable. And even further north, 2 women survived the pandemic, cold and very alone.
We are staying in a very small little trapper's cabin, and it's uninsulated.
The mission that drove them to the top of the world. Stay with us. Well, we've all known some kind of isolation during the pandemic, but for two women, one Canadian and one Norwegian, this is what isolation looked like for them. 18 months in Norway's most northern region. They were there by choice, but at one point actually were stranded with pandemic restrictions canceling a ship that was supposed to pick them up. The pair, reportedly the first women in history to spend a winter in the Arctic without a male team member, came face to face every day with some harsh Arctic realities, including more than a few polar bears. Juanita Taylor now with what motivated them to do it and the real impact their experience is having.
It's snowing like crazy. We have nothing to gain by this. Citizen science piece is not a paid gig. We're up here because we're doing something that feels meaningful, purposeful, and we love it.
Close to the North Pole, on a small island in Norway, 140 kilometers from the nearest community by snowmobile, is where two women called home for 18 months.
And we are staying in a very small little trapper's cabin built in 1930, and it's uninsulated, no running water or electricity, so we have solar and wind power.
If you were to sort of be where we're sitting right now and look around 360 degrees, you would see nobody and nothing except wildlife, mountain ranges, ice, and then the open fjord since the ice is gone. We feel very isolated and very, very remote.
We first connected with Sunniva Sorby from British Columbia and Hilda Falunstrom of Norway in April at this trapper's cabin. And between them, they have 46 years of polar experience. But their time here is about more than adventure.
We're self-described citizen scientists. It's actually a name that was adopted by NASA. We don't have PhDs, but we are willing to work with the scientists to actually collect data for research that they're doing.
Climate change are happening twice as fast up here in the Arctic than in the rest of the world, so we are sort of climate witnesses.
Witnessing changes to ice conditions, animals, and the atmosphere, and giving that data to 9 different organizations, including the Norwegian Polar Institute and NASA.
So much of what we're doing, people can't really see. It's like we're collecting things that normally you wouldn't observe if you're just passing by, but over time we're able to see the changes.
Is the drone coming down from its pre-programmed flight?
Sponsors provided the pair with specialized equipment to track those changes, including a drastic one, the loss of sea ice.
Right now there's absolutely no ice.
We've had such a warm winter, much more rain. We didn't have rain at all last year, and all this makes challenges for the wildlife around here, especially seals, polar bears, and reindeers.
Not only are they watching the wildlife, they're watching out for wildlife. They've had nearly 90 polar bear sightings from their cabin and a couple of close calls.
You never think you're actually going to meet a polar bear and look it in the eye. And it was just another regular evening where we're going outside to look for the northern lights. And I went outside and I apparently startled the polar bear who was just right in front of me and stopped for what felt like a full minute. And my heart was immediately in my throat. And I looked at this thing and it's just in awe. I mean, it's absolutely a beautiful, magnificent marine mammal. And in the same breath, it was just horrifying that I was standing 2 meters away from this polar bear. I'll never, ever forget that.
My question is, what is the smallest polar bear that you've seen?
This cub we saw in April last
Hilda and Sunniva are also inspiring thousands of students with their story at virtual gatherings like this.
Just hearing about their passion for the project is really just inspiring and creates a lot of ambition for young people like me.
Paloma Ruiz de la Orden is 16. She attends Trafalgar School for Girls in Montreal.
Ever since I've started listening to their talks, I've been educating myself and others about what we can do to help the climate. Obviously, we can't necessarily go to the Arctic right now, but we can still do small things in order to make a huge impact.
And so it's been quite a journey, and
World leaders joined the conversation, from David Suzuki to Dr. Jane Goodall.
So much information is collected with citizen science.
As you can tell, they're really excited, and you've definitely inspired like the next generation.
And I think when you involve children, it's so desperately important to help them understand the natural world. And the more they learn about it and interact with it, the more likely they are to fall in love with the natural world and want to help protect it.
Back at the trapper's cabin, not only have Hilda and Sunniva been studying life around them, scientists have been studying them as well, curious about how they weathered all those months of isolation.
It's not easy being here with just one person. It wouldn't be easy for anybody, but we're pretty confident that had it been two men, that they might have punched each other out about now.
Don't bend forward. Keep your elbows at your side.
We have great routines. We have so much physical work that we need to do. Chopping wood and collecting ice and snow for water.
We give each other space to sort of make a contribution to the whole existence here.
There's our pickup, 5 hours early. At the end of May, Hilda and Sunniva prepared to leave.
Oh boy, after 18 months, hard to pack up.
They hitched a ride on a Norwegian Coast Guard vessel, reunited with family, and reflected on their mission, which they called Hearts in the Ice.
None of us are smart enough to solve the problems of the world, but together, if we collaborate and we leverage each other's skills and interests and abilities, we're able to actually move as communities forward. The heartbeats, the collaborative part of our project, has been the success.
The women are already thinking about their next adventure, being citizen scientists in the Canadian Arctic. Juanita Taylor, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Fantastic. And new Canadian research has uncovered a toxic chemical in our makeup.
It's in our blood. How is it getting there? What are the major routes?
Why it's affecting more than just those who use it. Stay with us. Okay, quite the close call today after a Greenpeace protest went wrong at a Euro 2020 game in Germany. The protester parachuting his way into the stadium clipped a cable on the way in, which made him lose control and narrowly miss the fans below. Officials say several people were treated in the hospital for injuries from falling debris. Researchers at the University of Toronto have been studying chemicals in cosmetics, and what they found is that long-lasting makeup could also have long-lasting health and environmental consequences. What's more, as Inayat Singh reports, is the toxic ingredients are likely not on the label.
The study found cosmetics billed as waterproof, smooth, and long-lasting are also more likely to contain harmful chemicals called per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS. They last for decades in the environment, ending up in the water supply and in our bodies.
Looks like it has a bit of a shimmer.
The study has the first Canadian and American data on PFAS levels in cosmetics.
We don't know how PFAS is getting into the Canadian environment. And also, we know that PFAS is in all of us. It's in our blood. How is it getting there?
Over half of the 231 products tested had high fluorine levels, indicating the likely presence of PFAS chemicals.
Let's start with the mascara.
Waterproof mascara, foundation, and liquid lipstick had the highest levels. Some advocates are calling for a ban.
These products are used by women and possibly young women or young children, that the route of exposure, whether to the eyes, to the skin, or ingestion, is really problematic.
Of 17 Canadian products, only one listed PFAS in its ingredients list.
I like that brownie pink lip combo,
which concerns beauty influencer Haneen Al-Sohaili, who relies on ingredient lists to recommend products to her clients.
It does increase mistrust in terms of how else are consumers going to know what's really in their products and what to avoid.
Some PFAS have been associated with serious health problems like cancer, obesity, and decreased fertility. Citing the new research, today US lawmakers did introduce a bill to ban PFAS in cosmetics. In Canada, the federal government is in a 2-year process seeking input on changing its regulations on PFAS. Inayat Singh, CBC News, Toronto.
Next on The National, the best kind of thrift store find.
This painting was actually in that area. She paid $5 for it.
Well, how a cheap painting turned out to be a David Bowie masterpiece. Next in our moment. You may have heard the phrase, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Well, a lucky bargain hunter from Ontario may have hit the thrifting jackpot with this painting, and she only spent $5. So this painting happens to be a David Bowie original, and now a Toronto auction house is taking bids. How that fiver is turning into 5 figures. Tonight, that is our moment.
We were contacted by a client. She had a painting that she believed could be by David Bowie. She was originally quite taken by the painting itself. What was striking to us was the fact that she had actually picked it up at a donation center over the summer. She paid $5 for it. The work did appear to have strong similarities to other works that David Bowie had created. There was enough promise to request that she send the painting to us in Toronto, and that allowed us to perform additional research. And part of that was reaching out to an expert actually in the UK. Almost instantly, he came back to us and said that he felt absolutely it was authentic. It's very unusual for a work of significant value to be found in a location like a donation center or a thrift store. So we were very excited here, not only the fact, of course, that it was such an incredible find in such a location, but also, of course, the fact that it's an artwork by such a famous performer.
I want to know who sent it to the donation store. Apparently, this was from Bowie's sort of deadhead collection, in which he painted, 47 portraits of friends and family and some self-portraits. Pretty limited window of painting, but a treasure. And again, how did it get in the thrift store? That is a national for June 15th.